It's time for Rabbi Minkowicz's Weekly Torah Lesson, a place where life's most difficult questions are answered. Here with his spiritual perspective and insight, Rabbi Minkowicz.
Welcome to this week's Torah lesson. This week's Torah portion is Parsha's Behar. The question of the week is, how can you avoid the downfalls of life? So in this week's Torah portion, Parsha's Behar, we learn about the laws of a Jew that gets sold as a slave to a non-Jew for financial reasons or other reasons, and now he wants to be redeemed. So the Torah tells us the law of redemption. And the Torah says, what happens if his brother wants to come redeem him, his uncle, his cousins, or any other family member, or he himself wants to come redeem him? And the Torah goes into the detail what the redemption process is. But the Rebbe asks a very simple question. If you give a look, there's something missing. Who is the closest to a person? His dad, his mom, his parents. So how come the Torah doesn't start off by saying his parents come to redeem him, then his brother, his uncle, his cousins, and so on and so forth? Why is the parents missing? So the Rebbe says, from here you see a very fascinating insight that the Torah is teaching us what the reason why spiritually the person caused himself to this tremendous downfall where he was actually sold as a slave from the spiritual perspective. And the Rebbe explains as follows. The Torah leaves out the father, and because over here is the hint why he was sold as a slave. Because we all know that father, Abba, in the spiritual realm, is referring to Chachma. Chachma is the first ability to comprehend, understand things about life. And more importantly, what do we use our Chachma? We use our Chachma, which is our wisdom, to really comprehend about the real important things of life, and that is about God. So, idea of a Chacham is someone that thinks, and what does he think? When you think about the truth. And the truth is God created the world, God maintains the world, and by thinking about that, it allows us to have tremendous awe for God, and have love for God, and that is the fuel, and that is the energy behind the relationship that we have with God. Now, as long as you have that relationship and you realize God created the world and you have faith in God and you pray to God, you'll never fall. You'll never have downfalls in life. But on the other hand, when a person is, so to speak, sleeping, what does it mean? He's sleeping spiritually. He forgets about God. So guess what? He loses that connection. And that's how he ends up being a slave. So the Torah doesn't mention the father comes to redeem him because he's disconnected with his father spiritually. And therefore, the one that comes to redeem him is a brother, an uncle, a cousin, etc. And ultimately, once they redeem him, he has to obviously work on redeeming himself. So in other words, the Rebbe points out very, very clearly that the reason for him slipping and being eventually a slave is for his falling asleep and his disconnect to God. So to answer the question, how can we avoid the downfalls of life? Very simple. Make sure our Chachma is always on and alive and connected to God. And this way, as long as we're connected to God, we will never, God willing, fall. This week's Torah lesson is in memory of Baruch ben Aryeh Leib and Shlomo Ben Yosef. May their souls be elevated for the Torah that we're studying in their memory. Thanks so much for joining us for our weekly Torah lesson. For more information on Chabad, please see our website.